Hey guys, welcome back to Team Death Slinger. My name is Peter, and today Shin Monzaemon got new support. The whole version 1 package as a whole got more support in BT22. So I want to go ahead and take a look at what you can do with this boss monster and take a look at a deck profile here. So starting with our eggs, 4 copies of Koromon. When attacking, once returned, this Digimon with face-down sources may Digivolve into a version 1 trait card in the hand with the cost reduced by 1. Just the best egg here because we are in the DM trait. There's not really a good level 3 rookie to place here to enable us to use a generic red egg. I also do like that this is just a cheap way for us to evo as long as we have some face-down sources, so it does the job pretty well. For our rookies, 3 copies of the Gizamon from EX9 has training, so we can get some sources in under this stack while it is in raising. And the when attacking, your trash is the bottom Digivolution card of one of your opponent's Digimon. Because Shin Monzaemon's effect triggers when attacking, I actually find that it is helpful to be able to strip the bottom source of your opponent's Digimon. Sometimes it removes something relevant, like a DP boost, a blocker inherits something that kind of prevents you from getting all the way to that DP differential that you need to actually shove something in security with Shin Monzaemon. Also, there's just a lot of annoying inheritable floating around, so Gizamon in the right circumstances can do a lot of work for the deck. We are going to run 4 copies of the EX9 Agumon on play reveals top 3. You add a DM trade card to hand and place a version 1 trade card as the bottom source face down under one of your DM trade Digimon. The rest go bottom deck. More importantly, 2k DP bonus. That's going to be great for the Shin Monzaemon's effect and for any other stack that we build. We are also going to run the 4 copies of EX9. Biyomon has training just like the Gizamon, but also has raid, so we can now swing into the opponent's stacks. It's going to make Shin Monzaemon a really effective removal tool, being able to shove something that the opponent controls in security and then raid into the other Digimon, especially with the Monzaemon plus minus 4k DP effect on it. It's just quite a troublesome stack to deal with. For our level 4s, I'm on 4 copies of the EX9 Numemon. End of your turn by placing 3 Digimon cards with the version 1 trait from your trash face down as this Digimon's bottom card. It may Digivolve into a Digimon card with the version 1 trait in hand or trash. Just a nice way for us to push into something like the Monzaemon, especially relevant because the Monzaemon does turn off when Digivolving effects. So this is a good way to force turning off Evo effects on your opponent's turn. And then we get a blocker inherit, which just feels nice, especially with the level 6 that has Armor Purge. We are also going to run 4 copies of the Greymon from EX9. It has training just like the rookies, and when attacking once per turn by placing your deck's top card face down as the Digimon's bottom source, you get 1k DP for each of your face down cards until your opponent's turn ends, and the inherit here is another 2k DP bonus. Best case scenario for us is having that raid and a 2k bonus underneath. Feels really nice on the Shin Monzaemon. Otherwise, the blocker and the 2k DP mix match feels really good as well. It should be pretty easy with the rookie and with this Greymon in raising to have 2 face down sources underneath the stack by the time you promote, which is going to be really great for our Shin Monzaemon here. We are also going to run the 2 copies of EX9. Airdramon has training, and when attacking by placing your deck's top card face down as the Digimon's bottom source, one of your opponent's Digimon gets minus 2k for each of your face down sources, and then we get a barrier inherit. I like the barrier inherit quite a bit, but that when attacking effect is also really relevant. You can give something minus 4k, possibly minus 6k. I find the minus 4k is actually usually what we're going for here, and then when you go into the Monzaemon, you're able to bring that up to a minus 8k effect, which clears most level 5s off the board, and just a really effective tool on a level 4 for clearing bodies. For our level 5s here, I'm actually opting for 4 copies of the EX9 MetalGreymon. You can trash a Cyborg or version 1 trade card to reduce the play cost of this card by 2, so you can make it a 5 cost to Hard Slam. But on play when Digivolving by placing 1 Digimon card from your trash face down as this Digimon's bottom source, delete up to 5k total worth of your opponent's Digimon. For each of your face down sources, add 2k to this effect. Really easy to hit some really nasty thresholds like the 11k threshold on this, but that security attack plus 1 inherit is going to be relevant for the Shin Monzae because we are putting things in the opponent's security. We want to make sure we have enough checks to actually bring their security down after we put things in security. We are also going to run 4 copies of the new BT22 Monzaemon. When anything with the version 1 trait would Digivolve into this card, for each of its face down cards, reduce the cost by 1. We want to make sure we're shoveling that training in so that we can actually evo this for a nice 1 or 2 memory. And then it also has Armor Purge, so if this thing would be deleted on the board, we can just shuffle it off the top and go back to our level 4. When Digivolving and when attacking once per turn by trashing this Digimon's bottom face down source until your opponent's turn ends, one of their Digimon can't activate when Digivolving effects and gets minus 4k DP. Excellent effect, great at turning off blast aces. That minus 4k adds up, especially with the Airdramon. And our inheritable here says when attacking one of your opponent's Digimon gets minus 4k for the turn. So if we can evo up into this and then into the level 5, so if we can evo into this and then up into level 6, which is totally possible because we do have the cost reduction on the Monzaemon, it's totally viable to give that minus 4k, swing with the level 6, and then give another minus 4k. It just adds up over time and becomes a really effective removal tool. We are running 4 copies of the new BT22 ShinMonzaemon Evos on a DM trait card for 5. When any of your version 1 trait Digimon would Evo into this card, reduce the cost by 2. So we can have that reduced cost Monzaemon for 1 or 2, and then we can get into the ShinMonzaemon for 3. Not incredibly hard there. Security attack +1 and armor purge when digivolving, when attacking once per turn by trashing this Digimon's bottom face down source. Place 1 Digimon with as much or less DP as this Digimon as the top security card. Combos really nicely with the Monzaemon, and when digivolving you give -4k. That means you are able to hit something 17k or less with that effect. And then when attacking, obviously you have the -4k here as well, so you're able to target the 17k again. If you have the your turn DP boost, that number only gets bigger. It can be possible to play something up to 21k in the opponent's security, which feels fantastic. We are also going to run in our level 6 pool 2 copies of the promo Galantmon. This might seem like a weird choice to you, but let me explain myself. First of all, when this card would be played, if there's a Digimon with 13k or more, reduce the play cost by 2 for every 5 total cards in both players' trashes. Shin Monzaemon is a 13k or more body, so this is technically always live when Shin Monzaemon is on the board. And because we are shoveling cards underneath our stacks with that training effect and shuffling the face down cards off of our Digivolving effects, we're actually going to accumulate things in the trash a little bit faster than we would in a normal game. So this effect becomes live a little bit more quickly than you would think it would, even though we're not running any mill strategies. We do get Rush, we get Blocker, and then on play when Digivolve, we delete something with 13k or more if this doesn't delete Recover 1. In the worst of situations where you have to Evo into this, you're going to just Recover 1, and then you have a body that is a Rush Blocker with DP bonuses, and then gives -4k when attacking. It's really not that bad, and at its best, it is something you can hard slam, and you can get some value out of it when the trash is built up. Next to it, I am running the Ophanimon Ace from EX6 on play when digivolving. By trashing your top or bottom security, one of your opponent's Digimon gets -8k until the end of their turn. Going from Monzaemon into this, make sure that you get -12k on an opponent's Digimon. And because the Monzaemon effect actually lasts until the end of the opponent's turn, it is possible for the opponent's target to stay softened up by the Monzaemon. They swing in, and then you can give the -8k when you blast Digivolve on the opponent's turn, which is fantastic. All turns once per turn when a card is removed from your security stack. If it's your turn, you gain sec +1 for the turn, and attack. If it's your opponent's turn, you get to recover 1. Recovering 1 feels great, especially when we're going to be trashing to activate these effects. But if it is our turn and we have this on top of MetalGreymon, well, then we get to swing in for 3 checks with the Ophanimon Ace. We're potentially boosted with the Greymon and the Agumon, or have barrier from the Airdramon. So it's actually a really, really safe 3 checks to be swinging with the Ace here. For our level 7s, I'm on 2 copies of Boltboutamon. Has the D-Digivolve 3, one of your opponent's Digimon, and for all the turn, all their Digimon get -6k. Then if you DNA Digivolve, you can't do anything because we don't have NSO. But when other Digimon are deleted to trash your opponent's top security, I like this card because it complements the deck in the fact that it is really, really easy to kind of wipe the opponent's board with the Shin Monzaemon, putting something in security, having the -4k. We are going to be running Owen Dreadnought, so then that opens us up the avenue to be popping anything 8k or less when we attack. And then Boltboutamon is a good way to just clean up whatever's left on the board. D-Digivolving 3 on something, make sure that you're going to get rid of whatever the biggest body left is, and then -6k just means the rest of their board is probably gone. They're not going to survive having their biggest body shoved in security by Shin Monzae, having a potential next biggest body reduced by the Monzae and the Owen Dreadnought, and then getting D-Digivolved and -6k on their board. It is just lethal and really, really hard to play through. I am running the 4 copies of Meat because this is mostly a DM trait deck. So you get to draw 1 and then delay. You get to Evo into a DM trait card with cost reduced by 2, and it also stacks our sources. We have 3 copies of the Analog Youth. Start of your main phase, you place a card from your hand face down as any of your DM trait Digimon's bottom sources. When sources are placed face down under one of your Digimon, you can suspend this Tamer to gain a memory and draw a card if you have less than 7 in hand, and then all of your Digimon face down sources gain reboot, which is especially fantastic because we do have this blocker Galantmon. We have the blocker Inherit that can go under the Shin Monzaemon. So having that reboot is going to feel really nice. It also just gains its memory and draws this card. So nothing to complain about with that Tamer there. I am running 2 copies of the TK and Kari from BT6. If you have fewer security cards than your opponent, gain 2 memory. Potentially likely, especially because it's possible to Evo into Shin Monzaemon, not be able to attack, and then your opponent has 1 more security than you do, passes back to you. You have less security than your opponent, so you gain 2 memory, sets you up really nicely there. And then when one of your yellow Digimon attacks, you may suspend the Tamer to have one of your opponent's Digimon get -1k for the turn. Very specific use case here, but that is kind of because the Monzaemon and the Ophanimon sets us up for a -12k. I want to make sure that we can hit the -3k completely, and then I also want to make sure that no matter what, we can get the Shin Monzaemon shoving in security effect. I want to make sure we have the biggest range on that as possible. This triggers when attacking. So potentially this can bump us up to like a 23k DP threshold, which seems ridiculous, but it is sometimes necessary. We are also running 2 copies of Owen Dreadnought. It is a memory setter. It is really generic, but when your opponent's security stack is removed from, you can suspend this Tamer to delete something with 4k or less. Because we do give the minus 4k on attack here, it is somewhat relevant because we can hit a lot of level 5s with that threshold, and it feels really nice in this deck. So that's what I'm doing with Shin Monzaemon in BT22. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. What are you doing with this card? Have you tried it in DM trait? But that's going to be it for this video. Thank you guys for watching. Have a great day. Thank you to our channel members for supporting this channel. It's people like Langlong, Big Z11, Coffee Deus, and Digidane who make videos like this possible.